YouTube family, what's good with you? It's your boy, Two-Way in the Lane, as always, fam. Anything I say in this episode, prior episodes, and future episodes is just my personal opinion. Don't take it as fact. Don't take it as law. Always do your own homework and come up with your own conclusions. Right about now, fam, I should go ahead and tap that like button for your boy. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Come on in. You can join the congregation by smashing that subscribe button and requesting all post notifications. And if you are an existing supporter of this channel, fam, I appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. You are the reason this channel is anything. All right, fam, let's get this episode rolling. So look, fam, check it. The end of last year, I picked up night vision, as a lot of you guys know. And originally, my thought process is I'm going to have maybe one or two guns that are kind of my go-to designated night vision firearms, right? But you know how I am, fam. I failed down the rabbit hole, and I started thinking, look, man, I have all these phenomenal guns. You never know what the situation is going to be. It would be better if most of the firearms that I had at my disposal had the flexibility where I could grab them and be able to use them for whatever scenario or whatever situation that I saw fit, right? So that caused me to really go back and reassess the optic mounts that I was using, as well as some of the optics that I was using on my firearms, right? And so also, and consequently, that's why I did a video not too long ago on kind of my five favorite optic mounts and my 5 favorite rifle optics, right? So I'm looking at this as the continuation of a series of videos where I kind of get into this evolution of night vision relative to my setups, right? And one of the things is when you have short-barreled rifles, sub guns, brace pistols, and you don't have the rail space, right, that you have on, say, your long guns, like, what are good solutions, right? And so I want to talk about one such solution that I have kind of discovered and I wanted to share with you. So check it out, fam. This is your boy's Daniel Defense PDW DDM4, right? Chambered in 300 blackout. Before we go into any detail, I just gotta say, can stop playing with your boy, right? Owenworks base, upgraded hyperfire trigger, Scalar Works mount, aims, Holosun aims, and sitting out there on that rail is the Rovyvon GL Pro. Now, what this is a pretty unique setup. And I don't know if you guys have watched the channel. If you watched when I first did the review on this firearm, you know I had a different setup. I was running a Vortex UH1 with a magnifier. Well, and it was fine, right? But for a short barrel 300 blackout, I felt like it was a little overkill. And if you guys know the UH1, and if I can't find one, I'll put a picture up of what it looked like. It's a bulky optic, right? It's a bulky optic. And so I had a big UH1 on here on a Unity riser mount with a big magnifier on here. I had, I think, like a Streamlight light on it, plus a laser. It was a lot going on, right? And I just really wanted to simplify this setup. And so getting rid of all, because realistically, do I need a magnifier? Am I really going to be taking a gun out that 300 blackout short barrel that far? No, I'm not. And so I said, let me simplify my setup. So I love the Ames red dot system. I love the Scalar Works mount. Put this on here, and then I started thinking about my light laser setup, and I was like, do I really, what would be great? And this is where the GL4 Pro comes in specific handy. if you're like me, fam, and you have several different firearms, these setups on if you don't want to be going around changing your optic, changing your lasers every time you move, every time you shoot a gun, and you're gonna have, you know, kind of your designated setups, how you set up your guns starts to become a thing in and of itself, right? And what I discovered when I did this original setup, when I had the Vortex setup with the laser, I don't even remember what laser I had on here before, and the Streamlight light, was that it was so crowded. And having cleared up the optic and the mount, I really wanted to do something about the front end of the gun. I felt like with the laser I had and the Streamlight, it was just too heavy, too much weight out front, too much going on, right? So you start thinking about options, right? And what I really wanted was something that was versatile, right? Something that would provide me a light, a visible laser, something that would also have an infrared laser and an illuminator. And I gotta say, fam, what I just said, it may sound like it's easy peasy, but it's not. It's not. There are only a few form factors that have those components. Surefire makes one, to say the least. It's unimpressive. Streamlight has one, and I have that one on my 9mm custom build, and it's cool. It's cool, but the best that I've run into so far is the Rovyvon GL Pro Series. And so that's what you're looking at right here. And I'll roll some B-roll and we'll kind of talk about what the GL4 Pro has to offer. Alright, fam, the GL4 Pro is made from 775 aluminum. It has 400 lumen cool white light with 1.5 hours of run time. It has a 300 megawatt LED based IR illuminator and an 850 nanometer wavelength. That's also has a 1.5 hour run time. It has slave dual beam aiming lasers. It has a 520 nanometer visible green laser, and it's powered by one CR123 battery, and it is waterproof, rated at 1PX8. Alright, fam, so again, what makes this special really is that it has 4-in-1 independent light sources. It has a white light, an infrared illuminator, a green laser, and an infrared laser. And what I really like about this is that it is, because the lasers are slaved, meaning that when you zero your visible laser, it automatically zeros the infrared laser. Now that may seem like, you know, like, yeah, but believe me, in the world of lasers, that is less common than you might think, particularly for the price range that this comes in. Now, the GL4 Pro was recently upgraded. It enhanced a little bit of the designs from the initial GL4 Pro that came out. So this is kind of like the second generation. So in the upgraded version, they've improved kind of like the mode selection. They added temporary on, and they added some adjustability to the lugs in all of the new GL4 Pros. And again, I just think for the money, first of all, let's take money aside. Like I said, there's only a few form factors that have that 4-in-1 capability. And the Streamlight as well. So the Surefire is almost 3 times the price and isn't as good. The Streamlight is less expensive than the Surefire, but more expensive than the Rovyvon, and in my opinion, not as good. And so to have this and to be able to limit all the junk off the front of your rail, I think is a phenomenal situation. Now, before you guys fall in love with the Rovyvon Pro GL4 Pro, why don't we talk about the Rovyvon GL5 Pro? Alright fam, so what you're seeing here is your boy's Sig Sauer MPXK Terran Tactical version. We've got that Trigicon MRO sitting on the Geisley mount, upgraded trigger, upgraded brace, upgraded carbon pistol grip. I did a review on this recently, so if you haven't seen it, go back and check it out. But this features the Rovyvon GL5 Pro. And this was sent out to me by Rovyvon for testing. So shout out to them for providing this. I would say up front, no money was exchanged or anything like that. I just met them at SHOT Show. I'd already purchased the GL4 Pro, and that was before the GL5 Pro became available. So when the GL5 Pro came out, I said, hey, you gotta get one of these in my hands, so I had the opportunity to test it. And again, this is a perfect example of how when you have limited rail space and you don't want to be having a big laser as well as a light going on, adding a lot of weight to something that was a lot of weight in bulk to something that was meant to be very short barreled in nature, this Rovyvon is an excellent option. Again, so this has all the improvements that we talked. It has all the features of the GL4 Pro, all the improvements made to the most recent GL4 Pro upgrade, and in addition to that, this has some form factors that the GL4 Pro doesn't. While all the specs are kind of the same, the design on this one is a little better. The bevel, the illuminator bezels does not stick out as much. It's got a side loading battery now that makes it a lot easier to deal with. The selector is on one side of the gun, so it should be easier to manipulate in dark settings. So all of the enhancements that were there with the GL4 Pro, plus some additional design factors in the GL5. Some of you guys might be wondering, is there a pressure pad that's available to run the GL4 and the GL5 Pro? The answer to that is yes, they recently came out with one. The only thing that I wish that it had was it has two outlets. So one that connects to the laser itself and another that connects to a secondary white light. But I mean, that's fine if somebody wanted to run it that way, but if you're okay with the 400 lumen light that comes with the gun and you don't want, again, the extra bulk, then they should make one with and without the extra line that goes to a secondary white light. And to me, that's overkill. If I were running this on a gun where I was planning on going out some distance and I needed additional light, this would not be the laser system that I would run. I would get a more powerful laser. I would have a secondary light, right? The whole purpose of this, in my opinion, is for either a pistol or a very short barreled kind of rifle or PCC setup where you're really probably not going out more than 25-50 yards or something like that. For me, this is the perfect setup for that. And I will also put up the MSRP of the GL5 Pro so you can have that up there as well. Alright fam, so look, if you are looking for a laser light kind of all-in-one solution for your short barreled rifle or your braced pistol, particularly if it's a PCC format and you know your real range for that is probably 50 yards and in, and you want something that's lightweight, something that's clean, something that's functional, something that makes sense, I would definitely consider the Rovyvon GL5 and GL4 Pro. Like I said, I don't know, you know your budget better than I. from a specs perspective, the two are identical. What's really the difference in the GL5 is the improved kind of ergonomic styling, functionality, kind of the design of it is better. Is it worth the extra $100? Probably. Because like I said, considering that even with the extra $100, it's 2 times less than the Surefire comparable model that isn't as good, and it's comparable to the Streamlight, but still better functionality in my opinion. I think those two companies need to step up their game a little bit in that regard. I would definitely consider one of these. As you can see, I've got both, and also I've got another GL5 Pro coming for another gun that I'm going to be reviewing on the channel soon. So definitely think about these two bad boys. All right, that's it for this episode, fam. Until next time, as always, take care of one another and peace.